impact will a drill, baby, drill strategy have on oil markets? Welcome to Market Insight. I'm Ludovica Brignola. President-elect Donald Trump's approach to oil, from the narrative of a drill, baby drill, to the blanket deregulation on domestic oil markets, will probably have a bearish impact on global oil prices. All the more if a deal with Russia is forged, which would take Russian oil off the sanctions list. How will a Trump presidency impact oil markets, and how would OPEC then react to all that? Well, to help answer all that and more, I'm joined by Yousef Alshammari. He is president of the London College of Energy Economics. Thank you very much for being with us today, Yousef. So we spent the past few weeks, months even, speaking about all sorts of bearish factors currently weighing on oil prices. But what will a Trump presidency mean for oil prices moving forward? We have more liquid gold than any country in the world. That's what Trump said in his victory speech. What do you make of all this?
Hello, Ludwika, and I'm very happy to speak to Reuters today. In my view, the results of the U.S. election have been very, very important to the future of the oil and gas industry in from the next 10 to 20 years. Why? Because during Biden's presidency, there has been a huge momentum, restoring the momentum on climate action. There has been a pause in the drilling activity in the U.S. That means lack of investments. And of course, the United States was pledging to achieve a reduction in emissions by 50% in 2030 and to become net zero by 2050. So having President Trump coming back, in my view, it has two consequences. The first one, I've always thought that it's going to be bearish for the market, because President Trump has always been pro more supplies. During the time of President Trump, between 2016 and 2020, oil prices have been far, far lower compared to their level during the Biden administration. And also, if you compare generally the Republicans compared to the Democrats, usually Republicans will end up having a period where oil prices are lower than the Democrats. Why? Because the approach that both administrations deal with oil market management is different. So while the Republicans try to incentivize energy security through more dependence and national oil production, the Democrats, they try to enhance security through alternative sources of energy. And that's why we see a difference in oil price level. So as we saw now, oil prices today actually are 20% less than their level in April, their highest level where they used to be $90. And I believe with the current President Trump coming back, I believe there will be more support. But here, there is definitely a challenge, because you cannot have more drilling with low oil prices. And I think here there needs to be definitely, I believe there's possibility of increase in investments. Especially the shale oil industry have been able to reduce their break-even prices far below or compared to the level they used to have. I believe now they can break even at $40 or even less. So I think there's going to be an increase in investment. There's going to be more supply,
right?
But
and Yousef,
not to the level that one would hope, because again,
right on this point,
Trump
I mean,
has kind of a price ceiling part. Yes.
Right, you're speaking about $40 a barrel, and this approach of Donald Trump of more supply. I mean, wouldn't that be a problem, sort of trying to balance supply and demand, breaking even at $40 a barrel? Would that be a big problem for certain countries or not?
Well, I don't think prices will go down to $40, but I think $40 is their break-even price for shale oil producer. That means if we have 60s or 70s, they can still make investments. Yet, having said that, definitely President Trump is not in favor of significantly low oil prices. Who mediated the deal between Saudi Arabia and Russia back in 2020, when there was a collapse in the agreements back in April 2020, and each country pumped their maximum levels? It was President Trump, because at that time we saw multiple companies going bankruptcy, the unemployment in the oil and gas sector went significantly high, and it was due to him that, or in fact thanks to him, that we had this historic agreement of cutting 10 million barrels when he brought together Saudi Arabia and Russia on the table. Of course, also the United States here took an important role cutting organically by more than 3 million barrels and also taking the share of Mexico in terms of production cuts. So I think he likes a balance in oil markets. He doesn't like them to be maybe as high as 90 and even not below $50. So in a way that can keep the professionals in the oil and gas industry employed and also keeping gasoline prices low for consumers so that there's no excessive inflation within the U.S. economy.
Right. And speaking about Iran, and especially about Iran's sanctions, I mean, we know that during the Biden presidency, sanctions were not strictly enforced, and this really allowed Iran to increase exports significantly. Can and will Trump essentially take a hawkish view against Iran, significantly lowering global oil output, in your opinion?
Well, which is very hard to predict because Iran now is not the same as it used to be in 2016 and during his first term. Already there is a kind of a peace deal between Iran and its neighbors, including Saudi Arabia and multiple other GCC countries. And I believe for President Trump's priority is to bring peace and stability to the region. Of course, that's also plays out on how the Iranian nuclear program is developing. I think there's going to be partially a tougher action than the President Biden administration, but I don't think it will be effective enough to prevent Iran exporting oil to their biggest ally, which is China. Also, Iran is kind of becoming in terms of independent when it comes to their exports. So I believe already the deals that they signed with China could keep their revenues channeled, even if there is a tougher action from current President or President-elect Trump on Iran. So I think there's going to be a partial impact.
Interesting. Yousef Alshammari, thank you very much for being with us today, and thank you for your thoughts. And that is your Market Insight. Don't forget you can watch more videos on Reuters.com.